back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather, and I had a different plan for what I was gonna do today, but I actually got stung yesterday by one of my honeybees. All I was trying to do was move my Premier 1 netting for my goats. I don't know if I brushed past her or got a little bit too close to the colonies, but I got stung. And for me, getting stung is a little bit more intense than your average person. I'm not allergic or anything, so usually when I get stung, it feels like nothing for about 12 hours. And then it starts to get really hot, the area starts to get large and red. And in the past, I have had whole extremities swell up really bad. The joints really hurt, and it takes about a week for things to settle down to normal. So because of that, I'm not gonna do what I was going to do today. What I was gonna do is get in my colonies, remove some honey to free up some brood area for the queens. But I don't want a chance getting stung again, because while my body is already working on one sting, I don't want to introduce some more bee venom. So I am just going to run around, do kind of some random things around the farm today, and I wanted to bring you with me. So I mentioned it on my live the other night, but a lot of people don't know that I've actually had a really terrible germination rate for my spring and summer garden. I have done really not much different in starting my seeds than I have in previous years, but for some reason, especially the tomatoes and the peppers, they just haven't come up. I restarted all of my seeds yesterday. It's been almost a month since I put them in the seed trays, and while I was resetting seed, I didn't notice anything underneath the soil, any kind of hint of germination from those seeds. So one of the things I think went wrong in that situation was previously I haven't filled the trays with water. I have just watered from the top for my seedlings, and I kind of wonder if I got them too wet and maybe the seeds rotted inside the trays. So I've changed up what I'm doing for my replanting of these seeds, but these are what I have germinated, and it's mostly flowers. So we've got some alyssum. This here is borage. These are chard. This actually are some tomatoes. Now a few of these already were volunteered and I just moved them over. They look really good. This is chamomile, a different type that I haven't grown before. I'm really excited about this. These actually are huckleberries. All of the huckleberries germinated, which makes me so happy. I've got some marigolds, some zinnia, and then some dill over here. So hopefully in not very long, our tomatoes and peppers will actually germinate. We have a really long growing season here, and so I'm not super worried about it. I know that Living Traditions Homestead, Kevin and Sarah, they don't plant out until May, so I feel like we do still have time. Look at this is fun. Hey Mish. Hi Havoc. But I was looking at our forecast, and it seems like we may not freeze again. We're probably gonna get a frost because I think in a couple days our low is 34, and frost can settle above freezing. There can be little pockets of cold air close to the ground where the dew and stuff can settle. So that doesn't affect the greenhouse at all as long as the temperatures are above freezing and you have nice warm sunny days. Generally it stays pretty warm in here. So I'm thinking about actually cleaning out the greenhouse and maybe planting some things in here. Our estimated last frost date is April 19th, so it would be a few weeks early, but because this is a greenhouse, I might be able to get away with it. I've never tried that before. Hi, handsome boys. So I bought another length of this electric netting from Premier 1 and extended out the boys' pasture over here. They're doing really well on it. So we're thinking about actually removing them from this buck area. Right now their electric netted fence is attached to their standalone pasture, but we want to be able to move these guys around to help graze down our land. Hi Farrell, how are you feeling, buddy? Hi Bubby. Hello. Hi Titus. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Farrell is doing great. He had a little bit of scouring about a week ago, but all of that is resolved, and I did wean him, so he's being a little bit sad. In the background you'll probably hear his cute little voice, but no more babas. No more babas. Farrell is a mini La Mancha, and it's funny, I've got La Manchas, half La Manchas in the barn, and I've had standard size La Manchas born, and to me it's really obvious, even though he's 70% La Mancha almost, it's really obvious that he has some Nigerian in him because he's kind of stocky and wide, and he's definitely shorter than your average La Mancha. So we've got a few different lanes in between standalone pastures. And this is so we can move around our farm. We have 9.21 acres here, and we need to be able to access all parts of it pretty easily. So I actually did put down some weed fabric here so that I can grow a garden in this lane. But we've got this lane here that we can access the back of our property with. But this is one of the areas that actually does have a lot of lush pasture growth much of the year. And so I think this is the first spot I plan to put those boys in their electric net. You can see there's a lot of this tall stuff. One of the issues that I've had with thinking about rotating my goats out on pasture is I haven't had a portable housing option for them that made me comfortable. Springtime here is very, very windy, and the wind is very, very powerful. I've had some little structures tumble down my field before, and I didn't want that to happen with my goats. So Levi's been working on this thing. We got this A-frame structure. It's actually an old swing set from somebody who was moving and couldn't take it with them. And Levi actually cut the top off of the A-frame and is starting to make this a portable goat house. It's gonna be on wheels. We just ordered the wheels, and I am going to have to stake it down so that it doesn't blow around. But this here is the beginning to our portable goat shelter. It's not done yet. Hello. Good morning. So I think I am going to get out to the greenhouse a little bit later, do some cleaning up, maybe do some planting, but first I need to milk. Good morning. Hello. You've made a beautiful nest. Hello, girls. Good morning. There's Christine. Are you ready? Of course. Oh, yeah, you're good. Come on. This way. Go on. This way. Don't lay down. Don't lay down. Don't lay down. Shvani. Good girl. Good girl. Udder is really full right now. I've had her kids away for 12 hours, and her teats are kind of small for being a big goat, and the first little bit of milk when their udder is this full is really hard to get out by hand, especially when they have smaller teeth. So you may notice that I did hobble Shveni today. I haven't had success hobbling Shveni in the past, but it seems to be working for her well this season. She's fighting me a little bit more than this season than she has in past seasons, and it just helps me have a third hand, essentially, to help get the milk out of her. There we go. Now we're in business. Once I've freed up enough milk out of the bottom of her udder, I get a little bit of a better handle on her teat, and things go much smoother. But those first few squirts are kind of difficult. Atta girl. Good girl. Wrong way, my love. You know how this works. You know how this works. Good girl. The boy might have to be a meat goat, okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay? You hear me? Okay. Hey, jerk. I have been so happy with the way that Tempest's udder looks. I think she has my favorite Nigerian udder. She has what they call like latex glove softness, and she lets out her milk really well. She's got nice large orifices. I am so happy with this little udder. That essentially took no time at all, and I already need to dump the bucket. Tallulah! Whoa!
Talullah's chasing me. And these two guys love me.
Listen, don't scare them. I don't want you guys to scare them.
She's cute.
She is cute. Go play, Tallulah. Go play.
Stop.
Whoa!
They're fast.
They are fast.
There's so much baby goats.
There's 6 of them.
We have 6 baby goats?
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
They're everywhere though.
So most days while I'm milking, my kids will be in here socializing the kids, the baby goats. And this system works out really well. The kids, the children, my kids love to play with the baby goats, and it also helps socialize them. So we have very friendly dam-raised kids here. Calamity, let's show them your cute little udder. Can we show them? Here. Oh, hang on. Whoa. Can we see your udder? No? Calamity is the last one due. She is due May 14th, I think. And she just now started to put on a nice little udder. It's really cute. She doesn't want you to see it yet. One little change that I've made to my milking routine this year as opposed to previous years is I am letting the girls finish their breakfast. So in years past, I have just put however much grain, didn't matter, in this bowl here and only let them eat as much as they could eat while I was milking them. I heard that advice somewhere that that's what you should do, and I think that that might be proper for goats that just inhale their food. Not all goats will just go ham on their food, and higher producing does like Tempest really do need to get the right amount of calories and nutrition in order to keep up that milk production. So she does not inhale her food like crazy. One of my goats does, Margie, she really does. What I've been doing is letting the girls take a little bit more time, finish up their food, and I've been doing kind of other chores while they've been eating. So I'll feed the rabbits, I'll feed the boy goats, I'll just do anything while we are waiting to milk the next one. Pepper.
He's rubbing his head on.
My kids just saw one of the pretty big meat goat babies drinking off of Tempest, and that does happen sometimes. Some does just allow any kid to drink off of them, and I don't mind that here. I have friends who really don't want certain kids drinking off of other mamas, but I don't know, the more the merrier. All the milk can go to all the babies. As long as the moms are fine with it, I'm fine with it. And if the moms aren't fine with it, they will kick them off. Pesky. Ma'am. Go on. Good girl. I think Pesky and Mayhem are both getting ready to come into a heat. When goats come into a heat, there is a pretty noticeable, drastic drop in their milk production. It's got to be something hormonal, but as soon as the heat is over, it takes around 3 to 5 days, their milk production comes right back. What the heck? I think my hose blew. Yep.
That's garbage.
Do you know how to fix it?
Bring it back to roofing.
Yeah, that'll work. So you gotta be careful. Don't eat it. Calamity. 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 No. Listen, is this what happened to my other one? Is that what happened? Can you go play? Go on. Go on. I noticed there's quite a few scout bees checking out some of my beekeeping equipment that I have underneath the carport. I did spray some of this with a swarm lure. As far as I can tell, nobody's swarmed yet, but they totally could have. Maybe we'll be able to catch them underneath the carport. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I've never started anything frost tender before my estimated last frost date. I have never taken the risk, but I'm willing to do so because of the greenhouse. So there's quite a few things that I'm going to be growing in this greenhouse according to my plan. I'm going to be putting beans in most of it. The 4 center rows are all going to be varying types of beans, but the outer rows I'm going to be doing some squash and actually some bush watermelon. I was watching MI Gardener and Luke, he just posted a video about why aren't my seeds germinating, and I had some questions, so I watched the video, and he was saying that sometimes beans won't germinate if it's too wet. The ground inside the greenhouse gets really, really wet when it rains, and in different times of year it's not so bad, but this time of year where things are just now starting to get going, it does get really extra wet. So I don't think I'll start those beans. I don't want to risk them not germinating. Although I may throw in these lima beans and see what they do. One of the reasons I'm willing to do that is my friend also bought this Homesteaders pack from So Right Seeds, and she said that I could have the lima beans. So if these go to waste or don't germinate, I've got an extra pack. So I've got a couple of different seeds here. These are actually all from Seeds and Such. This is the I think it was California Sweet Bush Watermelon, some Bush Delicatas, which is a lovely little squash, and some Bush Scallop Squash. This was amended. Ooh, there's wasps in here. Okay, I'm just gonna move. I don't like it. There's so many wasps in here trying to find a place to make their nests. Oh, I hate wasps. I would much rather deal with honeybees, that's for sure. Anywho, so the seed packets here say to plant these in hills, 1 inch deep, about 3 inches apart, in circular hills of 5 or 6 seeds. So I have a really different growing situation than that in the greenhouse. Based on what I've done in the past, I am going to put these seeds 2 feet apart. I'm not growing them in hills, but I'm also not clustering them in the hill like it described. So I think it'll be okay. I'm also not amending the outer rows of the greenhouse. I amended them last year, and I didn't really get a whole lot growing in the outer parts of the greenhouse last year. All that grew were some really big marigold plants, and I don't think that those plants, they were spaced pretty far apart. I don't think they took everything out of the soil. I'm gonna put you on a time lapse. It's actually warm enough in the greenhouse right now that I feel like maybe my camera might die of the heat. So hopefully you'll be able to follow along with me. Okay, so I'm gonna stick the lima beans in this row here and the squash over there. The lima beans I'm gonna put every foot. That's the spacing that I have in this particular row as far as my weed fabric goes. And then I am gonna skip holes over there. As I mentioned before, I grew marigolds in this row last year. I'm going to go in the opposite holes, or the holes that I didn't plant the marigolds in last year, I'm gonna be putting the squash in this year. So as I thought might happen, my camera died inside the greenhouse because it's way too hot to take the camera in there in the afternoon, and I know better, but it's been since last year since my camera died of the heat, so I needed a little bit of a reminder. Okay, she does not want to hang out with me. You don't? Okay, I'll put you down. So our girl Christine right here, she's due in 5 days. I think She might have 2. Last year, Christine looked pretty much the same, and she gave birth to one baby, one big baby. It was Elpis, and she did a great job. So we are hoping for twins this year. The only reason that I'm thinking twins for her this year is I noticed that she was showing a lot earlier this time, and our Kiko Nubian, who she's out in the pasture right now, Schvenli, she gave birth to twins this year, and she actually looks a little bit smaller than Christine does right now. So much like Calamity, Christine does not want the camera up her butt, which I can't really say I blame her too much for. In the next week though, she should be giving birth. I'm going to be watching her like a hawk the next few days. Her udder doesn't look super huge to me right now, but we'll be doing a couple of videos in the interim. Hopefully within a week we will have a video of her birth.